Wow, all-time new record, 195.2. We are only about 5 pounds and 2 ounces away from the goal. Man, I can't believe 195. That's another milestone. My ultimate goal is to get to 190, but actually I think I'm gonna go for 185. So I've already lost 38 pounds in just 10 weeks. So I'm taking my son to school, and since I've trimmed 38 pounds, I've got to get this trimmed. I mean, this is getting out of control, and I'll probably trim up the beard as well. What I really want to talk about in this video is I want to give you an exact timeline as to what exactly did I do to lose 38 pounds in 10 weeks. And I'm talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly. Oh, that feels so much better. That was much needed. I think I lost another 5 pounds from just getting the haircut and trimming the beard. So yes, down 38 pounds in 10 weeks. So I want to share with you the exact method, the exact foods, the type of workouts that I did in order to lose that 38 pounds in 10 weeks. Now, before we get started, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Tim Ernst. I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach who has personally lost myself 70 pounds in 7 months. And I did this all the way back in 2018. If you watched yesterday's video, I shared my whole journey of losing that 70 pounds and what I did after I lost the 70 pounds. Okay, that was a little bit of a dark season in my life. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and watch that. But again, I lost 70 pounds in 7 months. I did this back in 2018. And then, as the years went by, we went through, 2020. We all know what happened during there. And I put on some weight, wasn't happy about it. But then this year in 2025, I decided that's it. I've had enough. I'm tired of being overweight. And I decided I'm going to go back into my best shape like I was back in 2018. So I started at 233 this year. January 2nd is when I started, and now I weighed myself in at 195. So I'm down 38 pounds. I thought, my goal is going to be 190. That's only 5 pounds to go, but I decided, let's shoot for 185. Let's overshoot the goal by 5 or 10 pounds. I think that's a good strategy in case you kind of go off your plan, you gain some weight, you're still going to look great. All right. So let me give you the actual timeline. Okay. So obviously it's New Year's Eve, I'm trying to get it all out of my system, right? All the hors d'oeuvres, the bad food, the champagne, I got that all out of my system. January 1st is when I wanted to start, but my parents have a tradition where we have like a New Year's Day dinner, and some of the foods aren't the healthiest, but so we went ahead and did that. So I officially started January 2nd. So on January 2nd, I did a 5-day fast. No food at all, just water and electrolytes. That's literally it, okay? I have another video that I posted a couple days ago where I talk about the different forms of fasting, and maybe you can go back and watch that video and see which fasting method would be best for you, okay? Okay, so right out the gate, 5-day fast. It's not easy, I will tell you that, especially when you're got family members who are eating, you got company that comes over. I'm hiding up in my room because I don't want to smell the food or even look at it. It was challenging, but I made it, okay? Now, after those 5 days, I lost 15 pounds right out the gate. I was very excited about that. And I also worked out during those 5 days as well, which is very, very challenging. I know some of you have expressed you want to see some of my workout videos. I'm going to be filming some workout videos in the gym. So stay tuned for that. And also, some of you want to see exactly what it is I eat during the day, okay? And I actually have videos where I've actually posted my exact meals. So you may have to go back a couple weeks, but there are videos of me actually showing you what foods I eat. Okay, so with that out of the way, after the 5-day fast, I decided, let me do the carnivore diet. I've always done keto, but I've never actually done the carnivore diet, and they're very similar. Keto is basically protein, carbs, and fat, except you can't really have carbs. It's only coming from your veggies, so they're carbs from fiber, okay? So I've always done that. I've always done that for years, but I never did carnivore. And the only difference, carnivore is strictly meat. pretty much meat and eggs, okay? Now I did kind of a modified carnivore, so I know people say you can have dairy on carnivore, but I wanted to stay really strict, just the meat. But I went ahead and included some cheese and I included some avocado, okay? So I did kind of a modified carnivore. So that's what I chose to do, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do it for 30 days. Let's see how this goes, okay? So after the 5-day fast, started carnivore, did it for 30 days. I lost an additional 15 pounds. So now we're down 30 pounds, okay? Now you may be thinking like, well, shoot, like you lost a total of 30 pounds after about a month and you've only lost 38 from then. So what happened? I was kind of going up and down with my weight, which is totally normal, by the way. I want to be clear. Weight loss is never this linear thing where it goes down. It's going to go up and down, drop. Up and down, drop. That's how weight loss goes. So just keep that in mind, okay? So once I was done with carnivore for 30 days, I kind of liked it. I was like, I kind of like doing the carnivore diet. Now I did break my carnivore diet on the 31st day with a salad. Okay, so I didn't have any type of cheat meals or dessert or sugar. I broke it with a salad because you're not supposed to have vegetables on carnivore. So that's what I did. And I thought, you know, I kind of like this carnivore thing. I think I'm going to go back to doing carnivore. So since then, all I've really done is carnivore. Now I had some, I think in the total of the 10 weeks, I've probably had vegetables maybe 3 times. I've had a couple salads during those 10 weeks. And then we had a birthday party for my wife's niece. And my mother-in-law made all this great food, right? But I didn't cheat. The only thing I had was she made this spinach casserole, which is actually keto. It's just spinach, heavy whipping cream, cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, onions. It was absolutely amazing. So I had to have that. I had a cheeseburger without the bun, of course. Let's see, what else did I have with that meal? I think that was it. I kept it pretty strict. Okay, so really, since January 2nd, I haven't really had like any bad food, with one exception, okay? Let me go back to this. There was one exception. I did have, let's see, I had some chocolate, and then I had some Boulder's chips, which you can get at Costco. They're actually pretty good. There's only 3 ingredients. There's like potatoes, salt, and avocado oil. I couldn't believe, I mean, if you look on the back of your chips, on the back of the bag of your chips, say that really fast, you'll see there's a ton of ingredients, but these Boulder chips are actually pretty good. So I didn't really cheat too bad. And then I had a couple days, I had some like chocolate. That was literally it. Okay, now let me give you the rundown of the actual foods and what were my fasting times. So I did apply some intermittent fasting with this carnivore diet. So when I first started out, like I said, 5-day fast, went to carnivore, I was eating 2 meals a day. And I was eating between like 1 and 5, somewhere around there. That's called the 20 and the 4. So you're basically fasting for 20 hours and you're eating in a 4-hour eating window. And this is the exact foods I ate. Eggs were a staple in my meals. Now, you ain't got to tell me about the cost of eggs. They used to be the cheapest thing to eat. Now they're becoming the most expensive thing. But I always had exactly 4 eggs. What I had on the side was some type of meat, whether it was bacon, sausage. Sometimes I like to take leftover ground beef that my kids had from like taco night, and I would just take the ground beef, a cup of it, and put my 4 eggs on top of that, maybe with 4 pieces of bacon and a half an avocado, and then periodically I would have some very hard cheese. I find if you get the cheese on the block, it's much more healthier because that shredded cheese that you buy in the grocery store, it's got full of junk in it. I mean, there's actually sawdust in that. They put stuff in there to keep it from caking. So they put these chemicals and sawdust in there that are just so unhealthy for you. So if you're gonna want shredded cheese, just get the block and shred it yourself. It doesn't take no time at all to do that, okay? So I did that, and that was pretty much what I ate. Now I know that sounds pretty boring, okay? But the boring stuff works. If you want to get to your goal, you're going to have to do the boring stuff, okay? And what I've found is that the most successful people are willing to do what unsuccessful people are not willing to do. That's what you got to keep in mind, okay? So I did that for a while, the 2 meals a day, and then I started incorporating probably a 44-hour fast every single week. Here's what that looks like. I would have my last meal at like 3 o'clock on a Friday. I would go all day Saturday without food, and then I would break the fast somewhere around noon. So I think that's somewhere around 44, 45 hours, okay? So I started implementing that, and I'm still doing that to this day, by the way, okay? And then once I started incorporating that, I took my 2 meals a day and just dropped it down to just 1 meal a day, okay? And those are certain tactics that you can do if you find that your weight loss is starting to slow down a little bit, because the body will adapt. It's totally normal. You're going to adapt. You're going to have to make some tweaks here and there, okay? And then as far as my training, I train pretty intense in the gym. So I train 5 days a week in the gym, and I do a full body workout, okay? I've done push-pull legs where, Monday's your push day. So like your chest and stuff, right? And then like your pull days are like anything that's like your back, your biceps. And then Wednesdays will be just nothing but legs. But now I do full body. I do a little bit of everything every single day, but I do different exercises for those muscle groups. And what's great about that kind of workout is when you train your muscles like that every day, I find you get better muscle protein synthesis in those muscles. And here's what I mean by that. Back then I used to do the whole bro split, which is basically like, everybody knows that Mondays is chest day, right? Everyone's on the bench press doing Monday, right? Everyone's doing the bench press on Monday. And then they don't train chest again until the following Monday. Well, that's 6 days that have gone by. You want to stimulate that particular muscle group a little bit quicker than every 6 days. You want to stimulate it every 72 hours. That way you keep that muscle protein synthesis going, okay, in that particular muscle. Okay, so I train my muscle groups pretty much every 72 hours. I train them twice a week. Okay, so if I'm training chest on Monday, I'm probably going to train chest again on Thursday. So I try to keep it very, very consistent. Okay. And I've actually managed to train fasted, believe it or not. I can train. I have not had a so-called breakfast, as they call it. I mean, when you think about the word breakfast, it literally has the words break fast. You can break your fast any time of the day. You can have breakfast at any time of the day. But everyone associates breakfast with, gotta eat something early in the morning. No, that's not the case, okay? So again, I don't eat before I work out. I train fasted, and I'm still deadlifting, I'm still squatting, I'm doing the hard workouts. And I find I think because I've been doing that for so many years, my body's adapted to that type of regiment. I don't need to eat before I train. And then I don't eat right away after I train. After I train, I wait a good couple hours. I'm just not hungry after I train. Now, some people are, like my wife. She is starving after working out, but she's a woman. Their hormones are different than men. Men tend to benefit better from intermittent fasting than women do. Now, I'm not saying that there are women that can't, but the majority of the time, it's the men that get a really big benefit from intermittent fasting. Okay, so that's basically it in a nutshell. It's really that simple. People complicate weight loss. It's not that hard. Eat protein and fats. Now, let me give you a ratio, okay? So if you want to do keto, this is the ratios for keto. It's 20% is going to come from protein, 75% is going to come from fat, and only 5% carbohydrates, which is basically veggies. So the majority of your foods are going to be very high in fat, moderate protein, low carb. That's basically it. Now, if you're doing carnivore, you're basically having no carbs at all, no fiber. I mean, it's strictly protein and fats. I mean, that is totally it. If you stick to this kind of regiment, I can promise you, you will melt fat like crazy, okay? Don't neglect the exercise though, because the more muscle you have, the more calories your body's gonna burn. So that's it in a nutshell. It was my 5-day fast. I did carnivore 2 meals a day, implemented 1 fast day every single week, which was from, that Saturday to Sunday. And then I dropped it down to 1 meal a day. That's how I lost the 38 pounds in 10 weeks. So let me know your experience. Have you tried carnivore, keto? What was the weight loss? What was your experience? And if you like the video, make sure to like it. make sure to subscribe to the channel, okay? I noticed in my analytics, only 93% of you that are watching these videos are subscribed. So hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Until then, I'll see you next time.